All right. Okay. I'm on a little bit early. I think I'm on. Let's see. It says I'm live. I scheduled this to start at 1:30, so I'll wait a couple minutes to let people come in. They were planning to join me. Hello, whoever signed in. Leave a comment if you can hear me, or just a thumbs up. So, are you able to hear me? I don't know. Let me check something out. I'll start. Oh, good. Excellent. Okay. Thank you for letting me know that. And now I have to try to. Oh, here we go. Yeah, hi. I wanted to jump on today. First of all, I haven't been here for a while. Hi, honey. I'm doing a live. Okay. So, will you close that on? Thanks. So I wanted to jump on to talk about how you can, especially if you have the freedom of having a home education program, or if you're a private tutor, if you are still, and you probably aren't following this page, if your children are still enrolled in public school and you're either doing an online version or a hybrid version, this probably doesn't interest you. But anyway, so that's what I wanted to talk about today, and how the homeschool law provides opportunities, and it just gives you the freedom and the flexibility to integrate what gets to be a busy time, because we all kind of ramp up at this time of year doing other things. I know it'll look a little bit different because of COVID, probably. There may not be as much travel as people normally do, maybe not as big of gatherings that people normally do, and maybe your work situation makes it more likely that you're going to tone down whatever you normally do for the holidays, no matter if you celebrate the holidays. So I just wanted to talk about how if you do different things because of the season, and how you can integrate what you normally do with your home education plan. So hopefully, yeah, that'll help you a little bit. And it's always about maybe just shifting your mindset a little bit from how school normally looks, or schooling at home, and what a traditional school day looks like, and just adding some flexibility and sort of opening your mindset about what it could look like. I should say, I hope everybody had a nice Thanksgiving. Ours was really nice. My son's home from college. It's been nice to hang out with him. Yeah, so it was really casual and relaxed and really decent weather. So that was nice. All right. So what I usually did, I guess it's best to talk about from that frame of reference. So when the kids were younger, they're all adults now. When the kids were younger, we usually kind of suspended a more rigorous or scheduled day from the night before Thanksgiving through the New Year, early in, after New Year's. What I remember doing, just for the sake of structure, especially for my children who preferred a more structured, scheduled day, was stick with math for sure. They still did math every day, and then and some sort of idea of a schedule. But I kind of tended to change the content. So if, for example, I had holiday prep to do, I would plan a little bit ahead so that the kids could help me. And then, and that even helped with the younger elementary years. So they would help me with planning menus, writing lists of things that had to be done. And that sounds pretty basic, but it's still, especially if you have younger elementary, it is still writing. It's still practicing the skill of writing and forming letters. There was, so I would plan a little bit ahead so that I could attend to the things that I had to do, and also and just integrate what they were already doing. The other thing that we would do is, I guess you kind of ramp up what you bake, or if you bake for others, I would, ask them, like they would help me kind of plan that as well. They could copy recipes, that sort of thing, make recipes, find their own, and learn to make them too. And we could integrate that into the school day. Goes for shopping lists, that kind of thing. So that's just an example of how I might just think a little bit ahead and just include it. So if that gives you an idea. Another thing we would do, so reading is always important, no matter what reading level they were. I would just switch up the content, like the kind of books that we read, the stories that we enjoyed, whether they were on audio or, hi, thanks for, somebody's saying hi to each other. Sorry if I get distracted I just want to make sure people don't have questions. But so reading would continue, learning how to read would continue, but we tended just to switch the content of that. We'd bust out the holiday books, enjoy those, and yeah. So that's an example of how it can be really as natural as just you want it to be. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, if you send greeting cards, that's another terrific thing that you can integrate into your homeschool for kids from all ages. The middle, like older elementary grades through high school can get comfortable with software to plan, even taking a family photo, writing a family newsletter. Maybe, I know a friend of mine, I think her daughter, back in the day, I don't know if she still does it, but she started a blog to keep the family in touch, and it was private, which is really cool. But that's also something that kind of takes something off of your shoulders, and you can have your older, or like I said, like older elementary through even high school, create, different projects that lend themselves to something you would do otherwise during this time of year, but also keep you connected to family. Oh, yeah, that's, Nancy says, we do the same. Math is doubling a recipe for sure. Reading is Advent stories. Writing spelling is helping with lists, memories of past holidays, plans for current holidays. Yeah, that's excellent. The other thing I was thinking about, especially since the pandemic, a lot of older relatives are feeling isolated, and there are a lot of opportunities to engage with them. So even if you're staying away from them physically, some of you are, some of you aren't, still it would be so cool for your students to reach out to them and maybe interview them over the phone or over Zoom or through email, sort of formally. Whether they want to, I mean, it's just a cool idea for a project that they can connect and maybe relieve some of the loneliness that I know some older, I'm feeling lonely, quite frankly. I miss my my brothers and my cousins, and I have kind of a big family, so it doesn't make sense for us to be piling on top of each other in a small space. So yeah, so you can get really creative, even with your olders, and they may prefer more structure and kind of, but it's just an idea, and I just want you to take advantage of the freedom that you have compared to, even if you're doing this for only this year, just you have so much more freedom than any teacher does in a classroom. And even in a classroom, this time of year gets a little unpredictable and interrupted. And you might have a student who thrives on worksheets. Go for it. That's kind of easy to continue, even if you are heaping on, more responsibilities due to, seasonal demands. So I just want to encourage you to be flexible, and give yourself a break if you don't get to the same things the way you normally do because of seasonal demands. So yeah, I don't know if anybody has any questions. In general, I want to say that I haven't been getting a ton of email questions, and I've said before, I hope that's an indication that people are getting into the rhythm of this, getting really comfortable with homeschooling. Yeah, Nancy says 2 of mine love worksheets. Yeah, 2 of mine did too. It made them feel accomplished. So I get that. But yeah, so what I was saying is I hope in general you're kind of feeling confident in your ability to do this thing, whether it's permanently or temporarily. Yeah, in my area, our local school went back to online only, and I know a lot of parents are frustrated. So if you're at least doing just your own home education plan, at least you have the consistency of the predictability of the schedule that you have, and you're not subject to changing. Yeah, I'm curious about whether schools kind of going back to online only is going to make even more people do it. So, or homeschool, just choose to just do it on their own. Oh yeah, history. Nancy says, and history is easy. We teach about St. Nicholas and, of course, the history of the birth of Jesus. I always say history is so easy to cover in Pennsylvania. It's, and, special also on history, it's a nice opportunity to do a family history. Not only like a family tree, but also how your grandparents or even parents celebrated your family traditions and your faith-based traditions, if they are faith-based, or if they grew up in a different country or in a different state, how things were different. Yeah, there's tons of opportunities to do that. The other thing is this time of year, now it's going to be different probably for COVID. I would say there's probably not going to be a ton of travel, but if your family has a particular interest in, say, a particular activity, maybe skiing or hockey or something like that, you can use the freedom of homeschooling to, although I guess that's not necessarily related to the holidays, but yeah, just the freedom of homeschooling to explore that as a family and kind of dive deep into it. So, yeah. So anyway, I'm just curious about how everyone is doing and how your year's going, whether you're finding support either in your community, because I think a lot more people are homeschooling who wouldn't have normally, whether our local library they were open for a little bit and they just closed again last week. I think we can still order, but I don't know if that's true statewide or not, or if it's county by county, or community by community. But I'm curious about whether you're finding the support that you need. And I encourage you to reach out to me, especially through the page. I think I have a hard time with figuring out the interface of Facebook. So I'll notice on my page that I have notifications, and I'll click on it, and it's not clear. It's what's there. I'm sorry, I'm kind of a Facebook newbie. I mean, I've been on it for a while, but okay. Nancy, trying to make myself available for those that choose homeschool over public school at home. Yeah, and I can see too that if you're planning to go back to public school, you're waiting for that to be available and more predictable. I can see wanting to stay on more of a structured curriculum if you think you're keeping pace with your local district. But think about this. I think a lot of kids are struggling in that model. I just talked to the local parents, and it feels like, I haven't looked at local statistics, but it feels like teachers are pressured to keep up with a certain benchmarks and milestones. So, for example, a friend of mine, her son is in kindergarten, and they do online school. They just went back to all online school, and I guess they're expected to know 45 sight words by Christmas. So that's their benchmark. But the feeling I get is that, for example, most kids aren't going to be there. So I know that's a very specific anecdote, but if you're trying to keep up with what the plan is for the local public school and the students of your child's age, don't be surprised if your kids are ahead, or if just any standards are kind of obliterated. So, but I do understand the idea that you want to kind of keep on pace with at least what they're planning. So I feel bad. Nancy says, I feel so bad for teachers trying to teach virtually when they are normally in a classroom. I feel bad for everybody. I feel bad for the kids, parents, and teachers. I think it's, just harder to do. And yeah, I feel bad for everyone. So anyway, I made some notes. I think you have the idea of what I kind of just wanted you to encourage you to do. And yeah, hopefully you can just give yourself permission to think of it in a different way, especially if you're feeling pressured to do this homeschooling thing, which you're maybe not super comfortable with yet, and plan your holiday on top of that. Like if you're feeling overwhelmed by it, try not to, and think of it just in a different way. And just to say to yourself, yeah, I could definitely integrate these things, and it's totally legitimate. Yeah. So that's all I have. But if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I'm curious, Nancy, whether this is your first year homeschooling or if you've been doing it for a while. Maybe she jumped off. All right. Now, the other thing I was thinking about is usually this time of year there are things to do and see in the community, but that's probably not the case this year, I'm guessing. My kids and I used to go down to downtown. We would take a bus, which was super fun. Oh, over 10 years. One graduated. Congratulations. So we would go downtown, and it was super fun to take a bus. And there was a Santa's Around the World display in one of the local office buildings. I used to work in that office building, and that was always a treat. And then I'm from Pittsburgh, so the University of Pittsburgh has their international rooms. They were always decorated for the holidays. And I'm not sure if they're going to be doing that this year or if they'll be open to the public. It seems like they wouldn't be. Museums are always really fun to go to over the holidays. Ice skating, that kind of thing. Yeah, so those are some other things. Market downtown also had sort of a bazaar atmosphere. Market Square, it's called, and that was another thing that was fun to do. So again, with the pandemic situation, that may not be the case this year. But anyway, hopefully you'll take advantage of what is available and yeah, integrate it into your homeschool. All right, so I think that's it for today. I've been toying with, I did mention earlier in the week, but I want to spend some more time with this program, that I bought a writing program that I really am impressed with. And I'm impressed with the really clear approach. So I might do a live about that next week. And also some other curriculum or resources that we use, because I forgot about a lot of them. I haven't thought about them for a while. But if it's helpful, I'll jump on and give you some clues about things like that, especially the ones that were I used for all the kids. And yeah, but I want to finish this writing program first. I love the way it's designed. So the first two videos are lecture style and giving the strategies and the philosophy, which I agree with. And then 3 of the videos are, one is 2 hours long, where the guy edits a piece of content, a blog article that this guy wrote, and he takes you through and shows you exactly how he organizes it. And it's, for me, I'm somewhat visual, but I just love the approach of that. And then he's going to do it for 2 other types of writing that a person would do professionally, or I guess if they had their own business. So I want to go through those. And I was thinking what an amazing resource it would be for, I would say, junior high students who are interested in writing or who just have an aptitude for it. And for sure, high school writers, it would be a really good complement to a high school writing program. So I might do a live about that next week, especially if I want to get through it and then apply it myself. I want to use it to reorganize and maybe make clearer some of the blog articles. So on this website, on the PA Homeschool Law website, because when I first started that site, the only reason I started the website was because I wrote the ebook, Homeschooling in Pennsylvania, How to Comply with the Law in 8 Easy Steps, it's called. And I don't know, I sell it for $5, I still do. But I thought all of the information is available for free. I just sort of think my approach to it, which was, comply, but don't over comply. Also, don't get too intimidated by the law. I thought, I should put it up on a website so that it is available for free. The ebook just makes it more organized. It's sort of step by step. And I haven't really reviewed, and then I just would add articles as I was experiencing life as a homeschool mom, or when the law changed, I would write an article about that. And I just want to make it as clear as it can be. So I'm going to review the course. I'm going to finish the course. It's not that long. And then kind of put it into action by maybe just editing my own blog articles. And then, so then I'll kind of, it makes sense at that point to tell you whether it's effective or not. So anyway, I might do that for that, not only that, but some other curriculum that my kids used over the years. So I hope you are doing well and enjoy the holidays if you celebrate them. Have a safe winter. But I'll be talking to you in the next couple of weeks. And I think that's good for today. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, the other thing is I will record this or upload it to YouTube. I have to convert it and I'll upload it to YouTube if you want to share the information. But it's not, once you get the idea, you can integrate your homeschool with your holiday plans. Nobody needs to listen for an entire half an hour, but I'll put it onto YouTube for people who are not on Facebook. So I hope you have a good day. Thanks.